Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Wargaming.net League North America World of Tanks Qualifier 2 recap show. I did that in one breath.
Nice.
That's awesome. I'll agree, Torp. We're handing out gold tonight to people following us on Twitter at WGLNA or on Facebook at facebook.com/WGLNA. Do you have another winner for us?
Yes, I do. Over on Facebook, let's head over into my screen real quick. We got Alex Largent, Team Bison. Not going to give it to you, though. We were just on the show. That's your prize. But Isaac Johnson says, should be some great games once the league starts up on July 11th. Yes, it does start up on July 11th. And you guys remember that at home. Looking forward to seeing some crazy matches. I think they're going to be fantastic. Can't wait for them. Looking forward to them. And you can look forward, Isaac, to some gold and premium. 2,000 gold and, of course, a week's free premium. Enjoy that.
And it makes a lot of difference. A lot of difference playing with all those credits when you have premium and also for the experience. Let's go ahead and get into it for Ehrmagerd Caernervern. Which we're going to call EC for short. Looking at the team roster, we have Vect, Gomes, what we call him, DM Gomes, Ertai on the T69 doing a great job. Trouble2, we'll be talking to in just a little bit. Kemsey, Durasta, Whiskey Dodd, Dead Meat, Scharnhorst, thank you, 310, and Tommy Cannon, 69. What are your thoughts about this team, Rookhill?
I know all of these guys. Some of them were on my team for Eurosteel, so I know them, and I know they're all completely competent players, and they really mesh well with my personal play style. I know Trouble does. I know I can depend on Whiskey, and the entire team. I really like them, and I have to admit I'm biased. I am biased towards them because I know them so well, and they mesh so well with my play style. So I'm rooting for them the whole way.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the highlight. This is EC versus Relic Spurglords. This was the last match I believe they had to face in order for them to continue on to be qualified here. And look at just the dominating power of all that firepower, sweeping in and taking out Spurglords with all those AMX 5100s and T69s here. Ertai performing so well with the T69 in multiple plays, as we saw in qualifier number 1 and also in qualifier number 2.
Yeah, just crushing every single time. They're doing very bold plays, might I add. They really felt confident that they were the better team, and this last battle definitely showed it. 3 IS-3s picked on mines. Who does that? Who does that, Rookhill?
No one does that.
Actually,
well,
I know a team that does.
They did.
Ehrmagerd Caernervern. They do it and sweep it up 3-0, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go over to Trouble, who's about to walk in. Shame on you guys if you don't know this guy. Trouble2, what's going on, man?
Not too much. Taylor Swift, man. That's where it's at.
Once upon a time.
He's going to do it.
They knew I was Trouble when I logged in. What can I say?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Trouble. I'm not going to go down that pun path here with Taylor Swift.
We found you.
We cut him out.
Oh, we cut the mic. Great, thank you. Okay, first off, I hear that you're a veteran, so again, thank you for your service. And were you actually involved with a tank corps?
Yeah, I was. When I first went into the Army, I was a loader on an Abrams. Right before I deployed to Iraq, I became a gunner in 1st Cav, 112 Cav. So, yeah, it's good fun.
Wow. That's fantastic. I was actually
everything's really heavy.
Yeah, I actually got to load a 75 round on the M4 Sherman over at the Military Vehicle Technology Foundation, and it was pretty heavy. And when you're sitting in the tank too, you feel really. When I first sat in, I felt really squishy, while everything else around me was just complete thick armor.
Yeah, there's a saying that tanks are made to kill, and they don't care who at all.
Well, you're going to be the resident expert when it comes to just actual tank warfare, I think, for these different teams. Huge congratulations to you and your team for qualifying. How do you feel?
Pretty pumped. Rookhill knows I was in a bad mood after Cazadors. Really bad mood. But we rallied. We kind of sat down, figured out what we needed to do, and it went well. I know everyone was really pumped up. I know you guys got to enjoy us just killing everybody, including ourselves at the end. So
that was fun. That was fun. Now let's talk a little bit more about what happened with Cazadores. You had one team member that was gone. Tommy Cannon, 69, had a death in the family. Do you think that was a big blow to you guys? And was it tough to recover from that? And how did you recover planning for this second qualifier?
Honestly, not having Tommy does hurt, but I don't think it affected us so much that that was at fault for the loss. I think we played timid against Cazadors. We've played them before, or at least a lot of us have played them before, not all on the same team. But I think we just felt hesitant to use our aggression. And I think that was our downfall, because if you go back and you look at Himmelsdorf that we lost and Mainz that we lost, it's we knew what we needed to do, but we played too timid. We didn't just commit. And if you look, we could have committed on Mainz, we could have committed on Himmelsdorf, and we could have won it. But, it was failure in decision by my part and some others I was calling that night. So
we saw a complete reversal with your commitment when it came to against Spurglords, because you guys dropped the hammer, as we call that, on Mainz. We saw, it was pretty much, we knew you were so confident in the first two matches that you were just going to charge through, and you did so. And seeing you guys win really was a big boost to all of us. I mean, we were really rooting for all these teams. But to see how far you got in qualifier number 1 and to know that you had signed up for qualifier number 2, we all knew that's the team to watch for qualifier number 2. And for it to be the last match of that night, it was fantastic. Tell me a little bit more about your history with World of Tanks and also how your team was formed.
For me, I've played World of Tanks since like 2 weeks into closed beta. One of my buddies that Rukil knows, Welsh Dan, was like, "Oh, you gotta come play this game," and I was like, "Whatever." And I've been here for like 3 years now or whatever. Kimsey, once again, has been playing with me since then. That's why, like, me, when Rukil talks about me and Kimsey being like battle buddies, that's why. The team with the EC is, it's kind of a strange story, because me and Kimsey played with EC. Well, they weren't called EC back then. Then we went with Rukil the Simp, and we came back to Red Sky to just kind of hang out. And Tommy told us that they were putting together a team with the old Eurosteel team that had done really well previously, and brought me and Kimsey on. So me and Kimsey were actually kind of outsiders coming into EC only 2 weeks before the event. We kind of came together. I started throwing out my ridiculously aggressive strats that Rukil knows. Had to convince him a little bit that, come on, we can do this. Let's just drive into them and kill them all. And it's worked out for us.
All right, can you please tell me what your name means, Ehrmagerd Caernervern? Where does this come from?
I think that comes from Tommy. Like, I can barely pronounce it. I think it was just something he always thought was really funny. It's just like Ehrmagerd Caernervern when the British line came out. So I have no idea. I can't even get into depth with it, to be honest.
It's
just something hilarious to listen to. Someone say it. Like, listening to you guys on the stream try to pronounce it all differently is really funny. So works for us.
It adds personality to all these different teams you'll be up against. And speaking of which, do you have any words for any of the teams you're going to be facing during the league?
I'm going to use some classic pub talk and just come at me, bro.
All right. I'm sure they will. Now, you do have some shout-outs also from Indy, from Nerve. He had some shout-outs he wanted to give, so let's go ahead and have you do those, and then some shout-outs from yourself for your team.
All right, so Indy didn't get his shout-outs. He wanted to say thanks to Call Me Sarge from Wreak Havoc for helping him scrim and get prepped for playing against Hammer Time. He wanted to say thanks to River of Blood for all the time that he got to spend playing with them. And thanks to Yankee from G for making G such an awesome clan in Clan Wars. And then for me, I definitely have to say, Kimsey, you're my boy. You know what's up. Rukil, you're my other boy, but now you're like casting and kind of being lame. All of EC, like, because they're just so money. They love just getting in there and getting into the knife fight and, proving that we can brawl better than anybody. Gotta say what's up to A-Large. A-Large was the guy that brought me and Kimsey over to Simp that got us really into that tournament mode. And really to everybody in Red Sky, because, during all this, the guys for Red Sky happened to were doing Clan Wars and tied us for first in the first set of this campaign. So, yeah.
All right, Trouble2. And finally, where can people learn more about your team? Facebook, Twitter, website?
We have a Twitter, and it's just Ehrmagerd Caernervern. You have to figure out how to spell that one. So I'm not going to try.
Yeah, I actually tweeted that out to all my followers to have them follow you guys. So thanks so much for making a Twitter account. It's easier to promote all the different teams and for you to get access to your fans quickly. And I'm sure during the league play, you're going to have a lot of fans as well. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will be sending you a Logitech webcam so that you can face off against your opponents during the league play. And also, again, sir, thank you for your service.
Absolutely. You guys have a good one.
All right, you too.
Take care. You know, it's really nice to see him. Obviously, he has a great personality, and I'm really happy to say that he actually lives around here. So we're definitely going to get Trouble out here very, very soon. Maybe he can spill out a little bit of his insight. Obviously, not going to be nearly as good as Rootkill, but he'll let us know a little bit.
I'm sure he can tell us a lot about the Abrams. And I was actually asking the chieftain. I asked the chieftain, how many tanks does the United States military use right now? Because I know all about airplanes, but when it comes to tanks, I didn't know a whole lot for today. He's like, pretty much just the Abrams, because it fulfills all roles. Now, if you look at the history of World War II, you had the light tanks and medium tanks, the heavy tanks, tank destroyers, and artillery. Obviously, Abrams, I don't think, can fulfill our artillery role, but for the rest of it, it's fast, it's well protected, it's able to get the job done. But I'm sure that Steven actually knows a lot more than I do about the Abrams.
It's an MBT. It's everything we want, and that's all we use.
So when are we going to see the Abrams coming into World?
You're never going to
never
see
see
the
it. I
Abrams.
know.
That's like a tier 15 tank, man.
Imagine it does get into tier 8, and it's like, oh, what's your team? Oh, we're 5 tier Abrams, and that's it. We don't even use T1s. We don't need those cutting ends.
Oh, man. Well, I love to use it in different games as well that have different iterations of tanks. Well, that does it for all the interviews we're going to have. We're going to have a top 5 of the different plays we saw this week. So don't go anywhere, guys. We're almost done with the wrap-up show, but it's not over yet, and we also have some more gold to give away. We'll see you in just a couple minutes.